It's the High Heel Tea Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Where we speak on real topics that'll make you laugh. Looking good, smelling good, that's a boss chick. Yeah. 6-inch heel, show you how to walk slick. Hey. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. Hey. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. Hey. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. Hey. And it's the podcast, and it's the High Heel.
Back to the High Heels and Tea Podcast. I'm Crystal Lee.
It's Rihanna.
And y'all, today we are joined by Mya Diaz.
Yay! Look, he's one and only, okay? He's like, look, I bet on it. Come on, I got it.
Yes. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great today. I feel
Yes.
very blessed and grateful.
Yes.
God is good all the
You
time.
look beautiful.
I listen, me next to Crystal. I said, wait a minute. I said, me next to these beautiful girls. I said, heck nah, I gotta come up.
Come with it.
ASAP.
Well, we glad you came with it because you look beautiful.
Put that shit on.
Okay, that's it. Look, I put some clothes on today. You know, throughout the week, where you just don't be dressing up.
Yeah.
Looking homeless. Mm-hmm.
But you get your content done?
Yes.
Yeah, you better get your content while you got your clothes on.
Ooh, child. It's off. It's off.
I'm making sure too every time we change whatever we do. I'm like, take my picture, do everything now because when I go home, I don't want no problem.
I'm a ghost. Don't talk to me. Don't text me.
Yeah.
It's enough for today.
Am I sitting all the way over to the side again? I'm fine. Okay. All right. I'm making sure.
Yeah.
Now I was the one, so I ain't gonna say too much. It looked like I was the one that sting or something because I was too far over.
Cause you know, like,
yeah, that's what I feel. At least.
It's cool. I'm gonna look it up later.
No, it's not the. It's not the filming. It's the sitting. Like the person was over there, Rihanna was over there, and it was just like me right here. I was like, oh,
Were you uncomfortable or something?
no, I was perfectly fine.
just was over there.
We all did good. Everything was cool. And then when we stopped, I was like, and I kind of watched a little playback. I was like, damn, why I'm so far away from everybody? Yeah. But anyway,
No. Yeah. Right.
let's get into this episode. Can you share with the listeners, the viewers, a little bit more on who you are, background, and who is Mya Diaz?
Who is Mya Diaz? My name is Mya. I'm actually a real estate agent in St. Louis. I've been a real estate agent for a few years, serving clients throughout, and also really helping people start somewhere. Sometimes agents, they want to help when they're ready, but I'd rather start like when you're not ready because it's in life in general. We need guidance, we need love, and we need resources through people to actually get things going. So I really don't mind sitting with you and talking to you. But also I am a speaker and I am a life coach through Bold Moves with Quran Voting. I have the gift of encouragement.
Yes.
And that's who I am. That's who God created me to be.
sure.
And that's, throughout all the titles, that's my gift and that's who I am. God really took his time. And I'm just thankful.
I love your energy too.
Yeah.
Me and Rihanna was mentioning it a couple of times. Like your energy is so dope. It's so natural.
Yeah.
Like being around you, it's like, man, I just want to smile. And I
Bubbles.
I saw this quote today. It was just like, I just love being around people that laugh. Like their energy is just so different. Like that love to laugh, and that's who you are. Like you really always laughing. You always smiling.
Always
and-
goofy.
Life is too short. And the thing is, we're living in a world full of a facade.
Yeah.
And I don't like using the word hate, so I won't use it. But I strongly dislike what the word has become, of becoming too fake. When God really put us all here to like really join together and love on each other and grow with each other. Like it's too much judgment, it's too much fakeness, it's too much like you trying to look too much like a pearly white when realistically you dull in the inside.
Yep. A lot of people have fake lights. Like you said, a lot of people are pretending. What do you think? The question that came to my mind was, what do you think is the turning point for when a person starts to look within and say, you know what, I'm pretending? Or what do you think also influence that fake light in people?
Well, what it really starts from a fake light is when they try to consume themselves into someone else's life.
Okay.
When they really don't know who they are and don't know where their purpose is. Because at the end of the day, it's easy. It's like when you're going into a relationship. If you really don't know who you are, it's easy for you to consume within somebody else. Like, I want to live your life. Like, I don't know who I am, but I want to be with you 25-8. That's kind of how it is.
After 25-8.
25-8, not even 20.
I want to live in your skin.
No, but it's seriously like that. And we're in, social media now where they're just like, oh, I want to do this because I saw this person do it on social media.
Yeah.
Baby, who are you?
Yeah.
what are you doing with your
Yeah,
life?
imposter syndrome.
And probably and also it's just self-confidence. Like they don't know who they are. Take the time to really learn yourself because God created you to be one and only you, baby. No one can be you. Don't get me wrong, you could be doing a lot of things that other people are doing, but no one can deliver the way that you can. So it really starts with self-reflection. It starts with yourself, looking at the biggest monster in the mirror, which is yourself. So I think that was a big turning point for me, and also a lot of people that I counsel a lot of people to do is just you got to start looking within yourself, learning who you are, so you can learn how to love yourself. And then be authentic, because you can't be authentic and be fake. Right? You can't be authentic and try to live somebody else's life.
No.
So that was a big turning point for sure.
So, something I learned is that we all have like our blind spots, right?
Of course.
Like we all have to look in the mirror and see, no, because obviously no one's perfect. We all have to look in the mirror and see like, what is that one thing, that vice? It could be something simple, a simple blemish, or it could be something that's really a character flaw. Right? That we need to correct. What do you think your blind spot is? Because I want to talk to my blind spot. I want to get some therapy.
I need some help.
Baby, help me. Yeah.
What is one of my blind spots? I would say I really have to dig deep into the roots of it, because the thing is, you really don't know it's a blind spot till you really look within yourself. And something that I had to deal with a lot was trying to show my value to somebody else. Because when you come from a certain household and they're telling you can't do something, you have every single motive in the world to be like, well, I'm going to prove it to you.
Yeah, I can.
Like, I can prove it to you. Like, I'm going to. But the thing is, that's only going to get you so far.
Yeah. For you need
to do it for you. And my broker, I'm under Harvey and Co. Real Estate. My broker, she really became a mom to me. And she really told me, Maya, the best thing that you can do is be the best for you. I don't want you to be the best for me. And when she really became a mom figure to me, I realized I was doing that because all the people who bullied me, all the people who told me I wasn't going to be anything, my father, my mother, who really put a lot of trauma within me, I realized that I was seeking for validation. And that was one of my blind spots that I really had to work on with myself, because one thing that God's going to do, he's going to put that flaw in your face. But it's more so, are you ready to receive that?
That's dope. That's dope. So for me, what I discovered was kind of to what you said. I had to get into the root of it all, right? And I did therapy for years. And I really wanted this lady to, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be just really real. I really wanted this lady to tell me that you are the way you are, because when you was a kid, this happened and that. And it never got into that space. But one thing she did, she zoomed in a lot on me being a mother to an adult child. My oldest daughter is 21. I had her at 15. And she will always encourage me to do these new things, different things with her, whatever, that I never have done. And I don't consider myself like a bad mom in any form of fashion, but it was so hard for me to just do these things that will connect with her emotionally. And I was just like, this shit is
it's weird.
But long story short, what I discovered was that my emotional development was definitely divided when I became a teen mom. So how I show up emotionally sometimes, not anger or sadness or anything, but it's completely like disconnect from situations that I should be connected to. And I used to pride myself a lot on having like this problem solver mentality. Like, tell me what the problem is. Don't come to me venting. I'm not the one, like, you know what I'm saying? If you want like that, just listening ear, I'm not that person. And I pride myself on it. But then something dawned on me. It was just like, well, you really not the best friend, or you really not the best like parent. Like I had this hard time connecting emotionally to people. So now I definitely try to just listen, and not listen to obviously respond to solve problems, but I just be like, all right, tell me something. Tell me whatever it is you want to. And then I don't try to come up with solutions like, and I'm not sharing too much, but you recently shared something with me, and I was just like, tell me what you need from me. You know what I'm saying? In this moment, because I don't want to come to you and be like, all right, bet, this is what you're going to do. It's going to be like, I didn't even hear what you said, And so I just learned to shut the fuck up. Because I ain't gonna lie, girl, dudes used to dump me every day. Be like,
it makes you emotionally unavailable. And the thing is too, like that really becomes a root and a trigger button, because you're just like, man, I've been hurt so bad. People play me so bad that I'm like,
Trauma is
I'm
real.
disconnecting, but at the end of the day, you're trying to disconnect with yourself and what you truly deserve.
So that all of that, right? Like it's so hard. I don't know. I've said it on this podcast. I was like, man, it's hard for me to receive gifts because it feels weird. I don't want you to do nothing for me, but I don't mind giving you whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Because
always
you
hard
think
for
you're
me.
solving a problem for somebody else.
Yes, and it's just always hard. It was always hard for me, but now I'm more better, and I practice this space, and I don't want to make excuses up. But I was so happy when I just figured out, oh, this is really. It's not about being the boss chick and having the drive and living in a purpose. It's not solely that. It's also this disconnection that I have from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Including myself. And all I know how to do is just get shit done, which is great. But you need both your emotions, you know what I'm saying, and your logic. You know what I'm saying? To live. So anyway, girl,
You need everything. Look at her. She's a therapy class. She like,
Well, no, I mean, I'm glad that
show
you.
my growth. So
I mean, I'm glad that
y'all
you
can
shared.
stop dumping me on and call me back.
Hey, just okay. Y'all don't deserve her anyway. So
yeah, for it.
you see this, and you see that, baby. Please, you
I'm
can't.
so serious when I tell you, little boys. This was when I was younger too, by the way. It's not recent years.
Yeah,
Boys
for
used to
sure.
be like, I know you like me, but you don't show it. And I used to be like, if you know I like you, what's the problem?
Right.
But emotionally,
That's
I did not know
nonchalant.
how
You're
to
emotionally
show up.
attached.
Yeah.
I just never knew how to show up. So anyway,
It's
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Because I'm still like that today.
you are great.
you are.
No, I'm very nonchalant. I'm just very vocal about how I feel.
What
I'm
you
very
power.
transparent.
Emotionally too, because when I was going through something during one of my toughest times, I had one phone conversation with Rihanna, and when we got done talking, I was like, did you like study like being a therapist or something? I'm like, are you a fucking like she knew. I remember one time I was so sad and she was checking in on me and she just sent me her playlist. You know what I'm saying? Of some music, and then I played it. And I just vibe. I had it was simple, you know what I mean. But me, I'll be like, the fuck, yo, bitch.
But it, think
Got a problem fixing.
a form of therapy. Yeah, a form of therapy.
So I think you good with emotionally connecting with people.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying overall.
Yeah.
I don't
I'd be
give a
like,
fuck.
The simplest form of therapy can be so small.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can.
Because the thing
Yes,
is,
it
you
can.
really have to sit down and know someone how they're able to receive something.
Yeah.
Even if they're the most broken, there's a way you can reach them. Just the way
Yeah.
that God can reach you when you were broken.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry that you went through those things, but I just want you to know, like, I'm really proud of the growth that you made. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy going from something like that to building emotions, building and realizing, you know, we have a problem.
Yes.
Because, like I said, this world is a facade, and when we're really paying attention to ourselves, we are really dope people, and you're really dope. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
she always,
I'm about to cry.
I'm about to cry.
I have one more episode to do. You know, I love what you said. Building emotion. That's exactly the space that I
takes time.
I'm like,
It takes time. It takes time to build emotions. It takes time to build your character because God uses every season to build you.
Yep.
So it's giving yourself a different level of grace each single time. You know, we're not going to get right every single time, right? We're just meant to slowly get better, right? And that's 1% a day.
1%.
What inspired you to be a life coach to other people? What got you in this space to where you're like, you know what? I want everybody to know their purpose. I want everyone to be delivered. You know, I want everyone to feel not that you're not playing God, but I want everyone to feel healed and wholesome. You know, what got you in that space of being a life coach?
It's a story. Like,
tell it, girl. We got time.
Like,
Tell a story.
I'm going to share this in a way that it really brings me back of when this all started. You know, so I remember when I was in school, you know, I was going through a really tough time. I was living a double life because I couldn't share things that was going on in my home, or me and my sister would be taken. And there were so many broken people around me. But, you know, God, for some reason, God was able to use me. That small mustard seed, baby. He uses that small thing of light. And, you know, there's this one girl that I've known for a while in high school. And it's just like my heart was you know what I mean? It was like my heart to like help her. And even the smallest ways possible when she was able to receive. But when she like tried to commit suicide in school.
Oh wow.
I stopped her from committing suicide in school.
Wow.
And it was in front of everybody. I was chasing her. Security guards were chasing her. And I was making sure that she didn't. Like, I had to stop her arm. I had to grab her arm from doing it. And I'm a suicidal survivor.
Okay.
I used to try my best to commit suicide, but God said no.
To escape the home life.
And that's how I really found God was when I was about to die. In my broken room. I didn't meet God at church. I didn't meet God and through somebody else. I met God on my own in a broken room because I'm like, God, this can't be life. Like, this can't be it. I'm like, I might not know fully who you are, but I'm like, man, this is tough. Like, I feel like you made a mistake with me. But it's like when I was letting everything go, when I was bleeding, everything was bleeding out, I was ready. And he was just like, my child, this isn't it for you. Like, you have a purpose here. You have something to serve here. Like, I know it's tough right now, but trust me. I don't know where I'm going, but I know you could trust me. So it's just like from there, like, God continued to use me to build my light. And I knew I was so good at just being a smiley person. Like, I knew I was good with people. I knew I was being a smiley person to someone and just being able to give somewhat of advice and somewhat of encouragement. And I recently fully discovered my gift of encouragement when I went to this church. He kept on saying, you encourage people. I'm like, God, why does this pastor keep saying I encourage people? But it was really more so to say, like, you have the gift of encouragement. And when you come through a broken life and you also rebuild that, but through God, you just want to be able to be an extending hand to somebody else because you have no idea. Let them use. No, for real. And it's like, I wouldn't say I didn't have no choice because I allowed God to use me. It's a thing. It's different when people just like, oh, well, I let God use me. No, sometimes it's hard to let God use you because it's like, man, people don't talk about it. You know? But it's more so like, be like, okay, God, I'm gonna let you use me. And I was able to just every single time, like, even with past relationships, they had suicidal attempts. I don't know what it was with suicide. Like, the enemy was constantly bringing me around people who dealt with depression and dealt with suicide, even my own family, who was trying to commit, save an ex. Like, it was constantly somebody dealing with mental illness, and I was able to be somewhat of a light to them, but the enemy was trying to grab me through that. And you got to know your demons in each season, baby, because the enemy is going to find a different face every single time. So that's why your discernment has to be high. Because you might think you're doing all good until what? The rug is swept underneath you.
Well, I want to speak to your point is that you have to understand that your reality is like a limited context, right, of who you are. And so the full context of who you are, only God has that plan. So this is where to underline and connect with what you're saying. You have to have that faith.
You have to have the faith.
You have to have that faith.
That baby
even if you don't know. And the thing is, I didn't even know it was faith. I just knew it was a thread of light. Like, I knew it had somewhat, like, the darkness was like constantly coming in, but I knew it was light. Like I said, I didn't fully, I was aware of God's name, but I didn't even know him. I was baptized as a Roman Catholic. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, what is it?
Just being Catholic.
Just
I'm intense Catholic, but it's just like I didn't know what that was, because I wasn't taught any religion. I wasn't taught. I mean, God and religion are two different things. But that's a different topic. But 100%, because we can get deep into that. But but I didn't know what that was. All I knew was that something was getting me up in the morning when I wanted to die. Something was there where it's just like, man, I gotta keep going. And when I was 14 years old. This is where things started connecting. When I was before my suicidal attempt, when I was 14 years old, when things were really breaking down in the house, my parents suffered from a alcoholic disease.
Mine too.
Yeah, and then it's extremely tough. It's extremely tough going through that when they start choosing liquor over your child. But I love my parents to pieces, just to realize that, man, that these are God's kids too, and realizing that everybody's not going to be perfect. It's just more so extending grace with the wooden spoon. And I'm grateful that they're getting better and that I still love them, because the thing is, when you're able to forgive and love, what I mean, you could do it from a distance. We don't have to be on top of each other constantly,
and that's why you're so smiley.
I'm so smiley. But that's it's a powerful thing. But when I was going through this really tough time, all I ever did was to pray. I didn't even know fully who God was. All I knew was praying to something. I didn't know. I knew God's name at the time, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna try this out. All I ever did was ask God, please give me wisdom and strength. Like, I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you for fame. I'm not asking you for a shortcut. Give me wisdom and strength so I can be able to carry out my family to help them get back to you and help other people get back to you.
That's
Yep.
dope that even at such a young age you came to that space and know what to ask for. Like you said, you could be asking for anything.
Yeah.
You be like, God, please give me this new purse.
Man,
Give me this
some
purse
shmoney,
so I can make it up
some
good.
shmoney. Okay, my bank account kind of looking tight.
I need it.
They-
I need it.
I want to say dealing with parents that battle alcoholism, right?
type
That
of
addiction.
addiction.
It's hard.
Were you able to at least see your parents before the addiction, or was that something that you were born
So
into?
I actually knew them before they got into the addiction.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me to know that my parents are still in there.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, like it took me nailing to
Yeah.
heal, because baby, that's not easy. Like I have, these are my parents,
100%.
it's not easy at all, but it's just like, man, like I might not like how you did things, but
Yeah.
I forgive you, because I knew it wasn't you. That was the addiction and the enemy
Yeah.
trying to use you to get to your children.
Yeah, but I feel like even within that space, you still have to forgive them, because you have to realize and understand that the trauma not only started with you, it started with them, and it started with their parents, and it started before that. And because nobody had that willpower or that strength to overcome those things, they just kept trickling down within the generation. And because of that, what God did is He grabbed you and showed you something different, because He wanted you to do something different and know something different and understand something different. That's a very good question, Crystal, about were you able to see it before?
It's
like
powerful.
me, I wasn't able to see it before.
Yep.
Like I was born
So
into
you know
it,
what you-
and I'm still facing it as an adult.
Yep.
So
That makes it
just
harder. Yeah.
having that understanding of like it never having a possibility of change. Like with you, you're saying like you see something different. You see that they're getting better. With me, I pray and I hope and I ask God all the time that He allows for me to see that. But I don't have my hopes up. I don't feel like there's, I feel there's a possibility, because with God anything can happen.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking.
You can't set yourself. I actually got a word today from church. He actually said, like, the amount of love that you can give is the amount of betrayal you can receive. Baby, when I said I was hey, I don't relationship. Like, no, don't get me.
So with me, my mom, growing up, she didn't smoke, she didn't drink. I hope I don't cry. Okay, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke, but then she went through divorce, and then she started drinking on like the weekends. Then she started drinking on the off days, and then before you know it, she'll go around and she smelled like a bird factory. So still to this day, everybody know like I'm not a drinker, but that's why.
Yeah.
In addition, you won't never see me pick up a beer can. You know what I mean? And for a long time, I felt that betrayal from that space, right? In addition to everything I'm saying, I battle like teen pregnancy, lack of emotional development, and then your mom is abusing, alcohol, and that was tough, because in addition to that, it impacted her health. So she will go to the house, have a heart attack, go to the hospital, recover, come back out,
the same thing.
And I used to be like, to what you said, you're choosing that over
Everything
me.
else.
And that was hard.
All I knew was like when it came to me being a mom, nothing was ever more important than that. Nothing would ever threaten that or anything. Like I must protect my kids.
But that's why you're like that.
Right. And so it got to a point where my stepfather, who she was married to for like 20 years, he passed away suddenly. Now, he was my best friend. Okay, so he didn't drink, he didn't smoke. He was, if you want to say gentle parenting, that's what he was. Like, he's never screamed at me, he's never yelled, he's never whooped me, nothing. And he was just a beautiful person, but he suddenly died. So for me, it felt like my sense of security left. And I had just heard, I was like, oh, God damn, God. I gotta get
What you gonna leave me with?
But when I ultimately came to, I had to get clarity in that situation, because when he passed, as hurtful as it was, I had clarity, because I was like, he knew I loved him. So a lot of times, one of the reasons death be so hard is because we like, oh, I wish. I didn't wish he knew I loved him, and I knew he loved me. And I was like, I need to have that exact same like clarity with her, whatever her path is. And so I started to just kind of let a lot of stuff go. stopped expecting her to ever be different.
Yep.
Although I saw her being different. And a lot of times when people do talk to me, they just like, your work ethics is so strong. But that's who I got it from. My mom was super industrious. I just saw her go out and get it, and so I always credit her to that still. But I let go of wanting her to be something that she wasn't. And that trickled down into the relationships I would have with men, like obviously your attachment styles and everything like that.
Trying to heal people that you can't heal.
And it's
You
crazy.
don't know this nigga.
Man,
I got nothing but a
like
thread
oh,
left to my body.
it's codependency.
Yes.
And the thing is, like as women,
Yes.
baby, I tell you, as women, we go through these really hard traumas through our parents and our household. We're just like, we don't realize that it's codependency. We don't realize that we're just trying to fix something, but we think that, oh, it's healing. No, it's only healing because it's like misery loves company, but also the fact that, man, well, someone's that messed up too. Well, okay, let me see if I can help them, right? But you're still not watching yourself. You're just...
You're not loving yourself.
You're not loving yourself, but you're able to pour out. It's like you're pouring out into an empty cup constantly because you know you didn't receive that. So what, you want to be that? And it's a powerful thing that you said. Don't expect it, right? Because you can still give grace and not expect anything.
You can still give grace.
Because I'm like, listen, I love you. I appreciate. I appreciate you giving birth to me. And I appreciate. You know what I mean? And the small moments. Yeah.
When I tell you, I got a set time still to this day. I call my mom before 10 a.m. If I don't call her before that time, I'm very iffy if I ever even answer the phone, because I know after a certain time she wakes up, she starts drinking and things. So I'm so intentional. Like, I'll call her with the girls around, with my daughters around, so they can see her more in that space because they have their little cell phones. So she'll call them, drunk and tipsy and stuff. And so they got to the point where they also saw like how she treated me, and they didn't like it, and then it started to trickle down to them, and so they didn't like it for that either. So I had to come up with a way, how can I be at peace with this? Because it's hard. She just had a stroke in August, like, it's still going back to the alcohol, and it's like...
But they don't care about that.
Don't get me wrong.
They don't care. It's about, we talk about this all the time. It's about creating those boundaries. And things that fit within your space, because you can't let somebody, you could be having the greatest day in the world, and you go and speak to her, and everything just falls down. You can't allow somebody to penetrate your being or your soul or your understanding, because you know where you are. They made those conscious decisions in their lives to be where they are. And it's nothing that we can do. We can't do anything, because the love that they need for themselves, they've yet to find. And we can't force them to find it. We can't show it to them. We can't do anything. But all we can do is we can heal ourselves. And we can be in better spaces for ourselves. And we can transfer that on to our kids.
I don't think we know that though. Like, so it's dope that people like you and with your passion, your purpose is out there doing that type of work. Because everything you just said, that's not what's gonna come to your mind. What's gonna come to your mind is, I got one mama. I got one daddy. And I can't give up on them because this is all I have. So it's a difference between you with a dude. Oh, I could go get another nigga.
I ain't getting me.
Get another bitch. I could get another friend, but your mom and your dad, like, that is...
They still on your birth certificate.
Look, I know how to make birth certificates.
Listen, hey, can I get a print, please?
I really want to change my last name to like Pablo or something.
Pablo.
No, Escobar.
It's still Escobar.
Yeah, I don't want to...
Escobar.
We'll talk about it offline.
Look, we can't talk about it on the camera. I was like, I fed him. Wait a minute.
But to that space with this being, again, like, this is your caregiver, is your parent. It's different from any other relationship. What are some approaches you would encourage someone? I love what you said, but what are some approaches you would encourage someone to kind of like combat that space and deal with that space, who's dealing with parents, like, for instance, addiction, neglect, abuse, whatever it may be. You get one mom, you get one dad, and when they're gone, it don't matter who's a mother figure, father figure. When they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like a super hard space for a lot of people.
Place mental illnesses into that category too.
You can.
Because mental illness comes with addiction, and that's what it starts. Like once you go through depression, once you go through anxiety, every single thing that the enemy can use to trickle you down into that hole, to be alone, to isolate you, he's telling you this is the only thing that can help you. He's purposely making you believe that this is the only substance to save you. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find a coping mechanism. I'm going to find something to make me feel better for a short time period. It doesn't realize how much hurt that is bringing. But the thing is, the enemy is so strategic because that's exactly what
they're trying to do.
So one of the biggest things that has helped, not only me, but it helped a lot of other people fighting this, you really got to start with yourself. Everything starts because thing is, if you don't have a firm foundation with yourself, and at least, I'm not saying you need to be a superhero. I'm just saying just take the time to learn how to love yourself. Because the thing is, if I didn't learn how to love myself, I couldn't meet my parents where they're at because I was angry, I was mad, I was torn up, I was sad every day. I was constantly bickering and ready to shoot my shot back at them constantly because I was ready to fight them because my combat mode, when you know the things were going on at home, it was easy for me to put that pit bull thing right back up because I'm like, you got me messed up. But what really helped me was really learn how to love myself, but also build those boundaries. Grace with the wooden spoon. I'm a be me. I'm gonna be me.
Your mouth.
That's it.
My wooden spoon right here.
Listen, it ain't good food either. Okay, got me messed up.
Come on over.
Just come on over.
I love that.
And prepare. And you know, one of the scriptures talks about, you know, God's gonna prepare a meal for your enemies. But people think that People think that scripture is only talking about he's going to reveal your enemies. No, he's going to teach you how to forgive and love your enemies because only love can conquer all.
Them enemies want to be your friends.
My friend, you're going to be from this, but I love you. I mean, I appreciate. You know what I mean? Like it's a parameter, right? Like it's more so like, okay, these are my acquaintances, these are my friends, this is my circle. Right? So it's just like your spiritual table, and you got to know who's at your spiritual table because
I love that.
If the table was shaking,
shaking.
They and you only because of the fact that you're going through some type of spiritual warfare, your table is going to hold that table up because they love you and they have spiritual covering over you so much. They're going to fight every tooth and nail for you and rebuild you and revive you through God itself. You got me messed up. The enemy cannot have you.
You ready to fight?
Ready, okay? Like the enemy cannot.
You start speaking at the camera. I'm running up.
Okay,
but I swear,
God, because the enemy cannot have you. The enemy cannot have you, and it's so important to know your community. It's so important to know the people who are around you, and allow God to continue to remove people who have no longer served you. Because best believe there's conversations being said that you haven't heard, and there's things that have been said that you haven't done. Like it's more, it's too much going on. Like there's so much things that can happen behind the scenes.
100%.
And if you're in a room, if you're not in the room, and then someone's talking about you or who doesn't talking about you, that's how you know it's a real friend or not.
True.
Like you gotta know. That's why you need to know your spiritual table. Who's really for you? Who's bringing Thanksgiving, baby? I know. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Okay, we all had our big backs out. Okay, listen, this bell kind of.
With your book that you're working on, what are the context of this book? What are you hoping with writing this book? You reach, you impact,
and what made you want to write this book?
I'm going to start with what made me, and I'm going to answer your question because that's what happened next. What really trickled me, what really made me write this book is I didn't make myself do anything. I went on a Daniel fast for 21 days because I love real estate. I love what I do. I love helping people through it. And I love ministering through people because I know what it's like coming through a broken home. I want to help you find a safe haven for yourself and that stability because I didn't have that. So I'm going to help you because not only that you have a stable home now, you're going to build generations with this baby. So it's just like, God, right after that Daniel fast, I was really trying to understand my purpose. And I knew I was good at helping people. I just knew it. Like, it's something that it was so easy for me. And then, not sure to follow up. I'm sorry. I knew I was good at helping people. Like, I knew it was just something that it came easy. But after that Daniel fast, God gave me a book in front of my face. I'm like, awesome. You want me to write a book? I barely passed English class. Like, what do you mean? You want me to write a book? And he gave me the cover and he gave me what this book is about with time when I was writing it. Like, I remember getting on the phone because I'm actually with Book Publishing Academy through Janae Hernandez. She helps authors, establish their book and everything like that. And when I called her on the phone, she was like, so what's your book going to be about? I said, I don't know. I know God wants me to write it, but that's it.
Exactly.
Like, I just know I need to write a book. Like, I need to write it authentically. I'm not going to let AI or nothing write my book. So I'm going to write my book myself because this is God's book. This isn't mine. And what I've learned writing it is just really bringing the brokenhearted back to him. But also the transparency of what we're in this community that we're in, who are God-fearing or who is of God, who is not of God. Like, baby, what? And it's more so showing that it's okay not to be. It's okay to be imperfect.
It's
like,
okay to not be
if we were perfect, we would not need God.
Nope.
Yeah, you won't need His plan.
We wouldn't need His plan, and God knew. That's why He said self-righteous. And one of the words that He gave me constantly, I just shared this to someone today, is that if you get too close to the sun, you'll burn.
Yes.
Like, if you get too close to the sun, baby, you're going to burn. And that's self-righteous. That's pride. That's ego. And that's saying you think you know all.
Yep.
That means you don't feel like you need me.
Yep.
No, I gave you this. I could take it away from you.
Yeah.
Yep. At any time.
Destruction before.
So it's just, it's more so being transparent about the Christian community.
Okay.
That's me being truly honest. And I'm very open about it. And, you know, what's the difference between religious and God-fearing?
Yeah.
Because it's like you meet people who are extremely God-fearing who are out the church.
Yep.
I meet people who are God-fearing within the church, but then you see a lot of facade within the church and also with it without it. So it's just, it's more so be breaking barriers. And don't get me wrong, I know it's going to bring a lot of controversy for sure.
Okay.
Obviously, I mean, think about it. You know, me being honest about what's going on in the community, of course. But the thing is, God wants me to use that to bring us together. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay. It's okay not to know everything. You don't have to look so, like I said, a pearly white all the time. Like, we are all working through something. Let's come together. Like, I cannot stand seeing someone hurt someone else or act like someone they're not just so they can make themselves feel better or look better about their life. I said, baby, I just saw you in the club last night. What you talking about?
Man,
like,
throwing that ass in the circle.
Hey! But it's just the transparency and honesty about the community of what I've learned through God himself. And he just really... He's the one that's writing this book, not me.
Yes.
And just really bringing the brokenhearted back to him, because it's not easy walking in God's path. It's not easy. Narrow road. He really meant that, because it's not easy. A lot of things are stretched. You are stretched thin. You know, he's like constantly shredding your skin of who you used to be and showing you who you were before you were even born.
Yep.
Ooh, that's fast. Right?
Like, ooh, that's strong. Doctor, got chills.
So my last question. I love everything you're saying, and especially targeting the book. How would you define the difference between honesty and transparency? Because a lot of people are very honest, but they're not transparent. And transparency is a very rare. It's not raw. It's not about being raw. It's a very rare space that people live in. You know what I'm saying?
It's a rare quality.
Yeah, that everyone doesn't have. Like simple as that. So how would you say, like, what would be your advice to the difference between being honest versus transparent?
Well, like you said, everybody can be honest. But the thing is, when you're being honest, you can tell you're being around the bush of what you're trying to say. So it's just like, what curves do you keep trying to make? It's like trying to read through the lines, right? So I know, and the thing is also what I ask God a lot is to give me high discernment.
Yes.
Because without discernment, and anybody can make you feel something. Anybody can tell you anything, but is it true?
Is it true?
Is it transparent? I'm gonna show you every side of who Maya is, and you guys are gonna show who you are outside. You know, that doesn't change who you are. We're beautiful. We're amazing. It's important to embrace who we are, and if I could tell from a facade a mile away because of the discernment that I have. So it's prayer of having discernment. Then also knowing, like, okay, you could trickle it down. Like, what aren't you really telling me? What's reading between the lines?
Reading between the lines.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh,
energy.
You look really pretty, but like this is there, but like, no, you like, girl, like you gorgeous enough, but like, get together. Like, it's a difference of the two, right? So it's just, you really have to pay attention to those people when they're really speaking to you, because at the end of the day, anybody can smile at you. And they can hate you. And they can hate you from behind the scene. They can do that sarcastic smile all day to you, but they can feel so envious of you. That's why listen, God, continue to constantly switch my heart posture so I can never become like that. Because every new season comes with a new heart posture. And forgiveness, love, grace, kindness, every single thing, because the enemy's constantly going to
like yours.
No,
You start humming.
I got a song.
Hey, look, harmony, okay?
Got a song in my head.
So no, it's the power of discernment, and it's also the power of really allow people to be let go. Like, we want to hold on to people so long because of the history, but we don't realize.
I'd be like, woo.
We want to hold people, and I just had this conversation today. Like, people want to be held on to because of the history, but you're realizing that root is rotten. You're holding on to a rotten root.
And what's gonna happen?
You're gonna rot too.
There we go.
The vines are gonna continue to go through.
Gonna be a rotten mother, two rotten mother.
But the thing is, God used you
Yes.
as a generational chamber. He said he can't listen, the enemy cannot have you. So he said, I'm going to use you to be a better mother.
Yeah.
You are a good mother. You are a powerful mother. And so are you. You guys are continually going to grow. You guys are glowing. You guys are walking in God's purpose for you. And I love the transparency and the rawness because at the end of the day, you guys are you. And I love that you're able to show all sides of you, but obviously a certain level of privacy, right? But you're able to be so raw, and you can, and it's rare, right? Transparency is rare, honesty is there, right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I mean, I don't say that much. I was like, I don't know why you care so much what this person thinks.
All the time,
Baby,
I'm an
listen.
open book that you never read. Like, all thing I do is ask, or if I'm comfortable enough to where I feel like, and not comfortable from a space of if I'm be embarrassed or some shit, but like, if I can feel like I can connect with you, I'm comfortable with the connection, I will talk. I don't care.
It's a safe space.
And one thing I personally live by, and I share it with my daughter, especially my oldest daughter, because she's growing up, all of them, they're growing up with like social media. So it's so easy to fall into this imposter syndrome. It's like, baby, don't never let nobody burn you with your own tea. No. You know what I'm saying? Own it. Like, learn who you are, know your vices, know yourself, have self-regulations, and also duality takes you far. But never let no one burn you with your own tea. So that's what transparency is vital. Like, you gotta have
it.
You gotta have that. And a lot of times people
that confidence as well.
Man, listen. What you gonna say about me that I
already know about myself
or don't know about myself? Not that I know it all, not that I can't be corrected.
But I'm aware.
But I'm aware of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm aware to correct it myself.
It leads to accountability.
Yeah.
It leads to accountability. Transparency leads to accountability.
Yes.
And once you do that, it builds self-love. It builds self-confidence.
It builds character.
It builds your character.
Yes.
And nothing can ever bring you down.
I said, how do you deal with someone like having the parents' addiction, etc.? So because someone needed to hear that, because although you're younger than us, you still went through your times of trying to get your parents to see who they are.
Yeah, it was hard.
She has, we spent so many years trying to get them to just feel like make this one decision that says you love me more than you love the alcohol, love me more than you love those drugs. But really the answer isn't going to acting out of anger and all of that. It's like finding self-love, because when you love yourself, you deal with people differently.
You know how to approach different. You know how to react. You know how to react. You need, and like she said something before, once you know who you are and who's like your self-love and everything like that,
you create boundaries.
You create boundaries, but it teaches you the power of reaction, right? You gotta remember, like, those triggers that your mom put in you, as you're still healing, right? We're all still healing, right?
But they're forever.
There's still triggers there that can be easy to pop off. But you have the ability to learn how to react.
Oh, for sure.
Because that gives you power. The power, like, I'm like, why are you so quiet? That gets some
I'm chilling,
right? I'm chilling, right?
I'm quiet.
Like, you can't. I don't know what
you. Not a word we had in a word. You just chilling. You just being quiet. You to your and
they just yelling. I'm just like, you done? Like, you good? I hope you have a great day.
Before we end this episode, share with the listeners, share with the viewers where they can find more details about your upcoming book and connect with you.
You can connect me up on Instagram on Mya Diaz Speaks, and then if you have any inquiries about real estate, it's Admiral Living.
Okay. And before we end, I usually mention this before the episode ends. My question will be: can you share your best piece of advice?
How about share her best quote?
Yeah, or either or.
Because I feel like she got a quote coming on.
I feel like she has a scripture, but I feel like
she got a whole bunch of stuff.
If you have a scripture, you have an interpretation that comes out as advice.
Yeah.
But what is your best piece of advice that you can share with someone based off of the service you provide, or if you just want to inspire? What's on your heart?
What's on your heart right now?
Not you saying about the scripture, because actually,
because she said, "But God wasn't saying
what." No, but
you heard all he said left. He meant right.
Okay.
I heard you.
She did her dance
right. A little bit. A little shake. Listen, the Holy Spirit about to come out of me just a little bit. Yes. One of my favorite scriptures actually recently I came across was Jeremiah 17. I don't know the actual number, but I know for sure that it pretty much talks about how with God and your firmness with God, nothing can shake you. And there you go. I actually got the scripture in my head now. So it pretty much talks about how the tree, the leaves stay green on the tree even in the year of drought.
Mm-hmm.
And that's powerful because at the end of the day, like if you got God with you and within you and you truly are serving him and walking in his purpose and knowing like where you are, where you're going, you know, like even if you don't know where you're going, you could trust him.
Yeah.
No leaves will turn yellow. No leaves will fall off. So it's just really trusting yourself. Really, when I'm trusting yourself enough so you be able to trust God.
Yeah. There we go.
And just really being you and yourself. I try, you know, we all try to be somebody that we're not. Be you, be your authentic self, love yourself, learn how to learn your gifts, learn what God put you here for. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to take you far.
Yes.
Don't try to do everything everybody else doing. Do what's in your heart to do. And that's it, and kill it. That's
Kill it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. It's been so dope. Your energy is amazing.
Always.
I love how clean your heart is. Your energy is amazing, and we already knew. Sit here.
Yeah.
Let you
We
talk
already know.
because you're super inspirational. Okay, so thank you, and Key, I continue to pray for you. Pray for your journey. You are a beautiful woman. Thank you.
Don't make me cry. I just got my makeup done. Okay.
Let me help you eat this shit. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.